Hello, I'm Coach K. Today we're going to discuss about some really hot topics. Number one, the Blockstack being the first U.S. regulated token offering that happened and raised $23 million. Second, what's going on with Libra and adding to their basket the Singapore dollar and making us safe. We're also going to look at what's going on with blockchain phone technology and, of course, importantly, what is going on with Binance closing their doors and how are these exit pumps happening and what do they look like? And I'm going to show you something that have already actually happened. See you guys in a second. Welcome back, it's Coach K. What you can do right now is click on that subscribe button, like and share, and I'm going to get to what's going on in this video. Alright, so we see that NASDAQ added a decentralized finance DEX called DFIX, which is really interesting. They're going to have Augur, Gnosis, Amuvo, Numeri, Maker, and OX involved in this decentralized finance DEX. It's quite interesting that they're doing this and adding it to the ecosystem when everyone's kind of talking about Bitcoin and everything. It's starting to die and oh my goodness, oh my god. It's like, why, right? But it is what it is. Let's move on and talk about what's going on with Libra. So Libra, their US standards have to be met. Well, that's pretty interesting. They also just had the Singapore dollar added to their basket for their global coin cryptocurrency, which isn't a real cryptocurrency. It's mostly just a stable coin. Let's be real. But they're going to have asset backing and so on. But here's what's interesting. We have to do this to keep you safe from terrorism. We have to do this to keep you safe from money laundering. Like that doesn't already happen anyways? If you guys haven't seen the video that I've made, do wait till the end of the video and click on the exchange cartel, the what they're doing behind your back video. I'm going to explain that in a second. So let's jump back in. What we see here is they're going to have these really strict regulations on Facebook, on Libra, because basically they don't trust Facebook and they think that everything that anyone does that they don't control is money laundering, criminal activities, etc. What's really interesting is soon enough, even with all this going on, Facebook and Libra, it won't matter because they're going to soon have it so that everyone's blockchain ID has biometrics connected to it and you can't just take money off of the exchange and transfer it out into dollars. They're going to make it very, very difficult. So all these people that hide behind these random stupid Telegram photos that aren't really them, not trying to make fun of my friends that have it, but you're not going to be able to hide any longer. So also, what we see here is the Winklevoss brothers added to their crypto exchange and they launched a custodian service, which will have quite a few assets, 18 in total, some which you know, like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Basic Attention Token, Bread, DAI, Mana Engine, etc. This is quite interesting because we know that Coinbase has the actual capacity to crush everyone right now with their acquisition of Zappo, but Gemini wants to have something else and be a little bit of the competition. And what's also really interesting is they're actually partnering with Mark Zuckerberg for Facebook's Libra project. Quite interesting. LG is launching its own blockchain phone. And what's interesting about that is they're trying to compete with Samsung S10, and rightfully so. Samsung S10 just has full compatibility with ERC20 tokens, dApps, and now they've added Bitcoin, and LG doesn't want to fall behind, basically, so they've created their own, it's called ThinQ Wallet in the United States, and the idea of it is that it's for a transaction, settlement, and e-money service. There's other blockchain phones like Sirin Labs Finny blockchain smartphone, but I feel that, Sirin Labs doesn't have enough money to really get it to mass adoption by themselves. And we also saw recently that Huobi Global is announced their acute angle blockchain phone for Southeast Asia, where I live. So that's quite interesting. What's also really, really big news is that Blockstack raised $23 million in token offerings and were the first SEC approved qualified token offering ever. That's quite big. It's a step forward in the right direction. And what we're going to see is if we can have one token offering, a slippery slope. Other people will be able to do the same thing, but we need to make sure that it's all legit all beforehand. So this is a great step in the right direction. big investors came into that, Arrington Capital, Fembushi, amongst others. And this is something that is obviously a very big step in the right direction. Now, moving on, I want to show you what an exit pump looks like. And DOC is a perfect example of that. Yesterday, we've seen several, like Fuel, which is a cryptocurrency that had all their funds seized by the Canadian government in April, pumped 250%. That's really interesting, isn't it? And then today we see DOC jumped about 100% or so, 85% in one day. And as we see, the subsequent dump is starting already. Why is this important? Well, the idea here is that any of the low sat coins that have very low liquidity, are going to pump. Not all of them, but many of them will pump. And why they can pump is simple. We look at volume and we see that they don't have very much volume. So one whale can come in with 10 Bitcoin, which isn't that much money for a whale, and put in 10 Bitcoin into GTO, put in 10 Bitcoin into WePower, put in 10 Bitcoin into what is that, Phoenix or Go, and they can push the market up. And what you see is this is exactly what's been happening. If we go to yesterday and see which ones have already happened, we can look at Fuel as a really good example, where it went from 40 sats or so all the way up, or 30 sats all the way up to 100 sats almost, and it was about 240% up. And we saw that with Lend and many others if you guys go and look. So what you're looking for now to see which ones are going to pump next, we're looking for coins that have a very cheap price. Like Zilquo was on my list today. I think that they might be one that has a due for pump. And look, they actually probably already did. So these are the things you're looking for. Signals is another one. They had a really big pump I think it was last week. So you're going to see these happening more and more in the next day or two. And then obviously you're probably not going to see them very often anymore because the US are looking to exit the market. And what they do is they buy some, pump the price a bit. People buy in like you and me would buy in, for example, if you don't know any better. And then they will dump that on you. So retail investors, be wary of this happening. And if you're in the right side and you see it pump 100%, don't be greedy. That's all I'm saying. Not as financial advice, just be smart. Moving on, let's look at what's going on in the market. Oh no, the market, not again. It's okay, Joel. We'll be all right. It's okay, coach. We got it. What we're going to see right now, guys, I'm going to show you is, number one, I made a mistake and I was wrong. I thought we were going to break out of the cloud. We had a Kumo breakout. It looked very good on the 6 hour before the weekend started. And what I saw was, oops, we actually had this massive bearish engulfing candle on Friday and it totally took away the analysis that I had done. State of it. This is the total crypto market cap, and as we see from the very top, we have dumped all the way down to this current point right now, $133 billion from a market cap right now that's only $249 billion. And I mean, we started pretty much yesterday at 257, so we've dropped about $8 billion in one day, as you can see by this nice red, not nice red depending on who you are and what you're doing, not a very big dip. Okay, we're kind of looking to touch that bottom of the triangle, which we've done a couple times now. I think we might touch it and then kind of have this move right here where we do one of those and start to move back up. That's what I'm looking for. J for Joel. All right. Moving on, let's look at Bitcoin dominance as another factor here. So we can see that Bitcoin dominance right now is hugging the top of the cloud on the 6 hour. It's starting to move off. It's actually bouncing off of the cloud, moving back up. We have a flat Kijun, so I might pull it back to this level at 72%, and then it continues dumping. We'll have to wait and see, but we do have a pretty, not a bearish, but not a totally bullish, not a total bearish, not a total bullish. We're kind of in between here in terms of the Bitcoin dominance. Over here, the gap you kiss that we have down here on the CME, we want to fill that, but I think we're going to stick, you know, ranging up and down in the triangle, and then through and start to move back up. And that's where the futures are. We do have a gap actually on the top of this up here, which is between 11,009 and 11,650. There's also something that would want to fill eventually at some point. Going to Bitcoin quickly, let's look at that, where it's going and where I failed. So here's what I was talking about. We had this Kumo breakout right there. I thought we were all right. We're, you know, every trend starts with a Kumo breakout. We've been very bullish. 3 white soldiers. All these are things that would make you want to get into the trade. Got in the trade, and then we had right after is this big, massive bearish engulfing candle. And then what happened is we dumped below it, and then this Tenkinson turned into resistance, and then we eventually started to drop. So we went into my first buy zone in the green. So I got a 1 buy in so far, and I think we very likely could come down further, but with how fast it's moved, usually when it moves down this fast over a few days, we would reverse and come up to this level at the bottom of the cloud, or the, you know, at the top of this span here, or even come all the way back up to the top of this area. So I think we're going to be not bullish, but we're going to have a relief rally soon. We could drop down to 97 and then have the relief rally, but we're going to have a relief rally because it's been very bearish for quite some time now. Many days. It's been like 4, 5, 6 days now where we've been quite bearish, except for that one day in the middle and that one day right there, which weren't all day. They're not a full day. They're 6 hours, right? So we've been quite bearish, and I think that will continue coming down, touch this level, move back up, touch that level, come back down, potentially get into this zone one more time. And if we don't hold it, we're going to come down to the gap buy, which is right there, right? So we're going to see that gap buy area. We could come and test that. If we do push all the way down here, I think it will spring us up as well. So just keep that in mind. Someone asked me recently, where are we going next if we come down here? So let's just have a quick look. If we're at the 618 and we're not bouncing off that, we're very likely going to come test this $9,680 or $9,700 range. And if we don't get there, we're gonna do a full retracement. We could look at it from this level as well, that we could come back down to 9,100, which we've tested once, twice, 3 times. We could test it one more and the 4th time, but I don't believe that we're going to get that low. I think that we're going to come down, bounce off the 97. Come back up, and we might turn in and touch this area down here and then move back up by October. So, you know, I'm thinking October is going to be a good month, but not until the 2nd week or 3rd week. And I've said this about XRP and other coins, that I think end of October, start of November is when we really start to see some movement again. And we're going to stay in a little bit of a downtrend with some relief rallies like you've seen: downtrend, relief rally, downtrend, relief rally, downtrend, relief rally. We're going to see that in many of the projects. That's basically it. I mean, we could look at ETH. ETH's kind of been interesting because it broke out of the wedge. It's kind of sputtering, and I think it might fail and come back down to the $155 range, $150 range. So keep your eyes on ETH. If it does have a big push, it will definitely be a very positive one, and ETH could actually start to go. If we have a bullish TK cross and a really big bullish engulfing candle, and this Chiku span, which is kind of in the candlesticks, moves up above them, we could see that we have an edge to edge trade, which would go to about 190, 185, something around that area, which would be a good trade if you're trading on leverage. Okay, that's basically it for today. I hope you guys have a great day. It's Coach K. Hope you like the new format with my beautiful flowers on the wall and all that stuff. Have yourselves a good one. If there's anything that you want to comment on, do leave a comment in the video. And if you're looking for that exchange cartel video that I was talking about, click on either one side here or here. You'll see that video and you can watch it and see what I'm talking about when I said you're going to have biometrics, you're going to have all this stuff. And I got this from an actual exchange director right at the top. So they told me this is what's happening, and then someone else in a VC fund that's connected into some country that's doing biometrics and leveraging the blockchain, they're also confirming it too. So, and I've heard this from another exchange that also confirmed it too. So just keep that all in mind. All right. Have yourselves a great day. Coach K sign out. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, share, and smash up them likes.